August 23rd, 2022 at about 6:32 p.m. First order of business is reading and approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting dated August 9th. If you've had a chance to review those minutes, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Tom and Bob, thank you. We have a motion and second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor, if I may add, since we're doing this virtually, we probably should note that all council members are present, with the exception, I believe, of one member, and that would be Janine.
Okay. Susan, I'm sure you will record that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next, award of bids for milling and paving of Woodlawn Avenue from Springdale to Clark Street and Holiday Drive, from Till Road to Painter Drive. Sherry?
Yes, Mayor. Based upon the information and the bids that we received, and after collaboration with Jerry Stump and Billy Trump and Councilman at Large Reedy, our motion is for the recommendation to accept the bid from Southern West Virginia Paving in the amount of $140,000.
Okay, that's a form of motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion.
Okay, who was that? Is that Cody?
Yeah, I did, but I think KP did too. Either one.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the bids as presented for the milling and paving as described. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed by a like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, award of bids for milling and paving of Orchard Avenue from Marion Street to Dorcas Avenue and Old Mill Road from Westwood Drive to White Stick Street. Sherry?
Okay, and also based upon the information that we received in our collaboration and our discussion with Mr. Trump and Mr. Stump, it is a motion from both Cody and myself that we accept the bid of $177,125 from Southern West Virginia Paving.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, that's seconded by Cody. We have a motion second to accept that bid for milling and paving as presented. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Next, resolution approving the adoption of the West Virginia Region 1 Hazard Mitigation Plan, July 2022. Mr. Fowle?
Yes, sir, Mayor. What I'll do, I'll very briefly explain what this plan is. I don't believe council has received a copy of this plan. The plan is in excess of 350 pages long. We've got a copy that will remain at City Hall out at the front desk. If anybody wants to come and review it, or if anybody wants a copy of it, we can have that made. But it's a plan that is required for the participants in Region 1, which consists of 6 counties. Those are McDowell, Mercer, Monroe, Raleigh, Summers, and Wyoming, and 27 communities, including the city of Beckley, 27 municipalities. There are 11 regional planning development councils in the state. It's all created pursuant to West Virginia Code, Chapter 8, Article 25. And this is something that is required to be adopted if any municipality or county is going to at any time be eligible to seek funding from FEMA. FEMA being the federal emergency agency that provides funding when bad events occur. And this is something that will be updated and reviewed and re-implemented 5 years from now. It was done 5 years ago. It's just an ongoing plan that needs to be kept current. So it is something that is extremely important to the city. It deals with severe storms, floods, droughts, earthquakes, tornadoes, and any other kind of hazard that you can think of, whether it was man-made, created, or naturally. But I will not read the resolution in its entirety. I'll read the resolution by its title and ask that council adopt this resolution. This resolution being titled, Resolution Approving the Adoption of the West Virginia Region 1 Hazard Mitigation Plan, July 2022. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Fowl. And just to reiterate what you have said, in the past, council has routinely passed this fairly flexible list of 10 or so priority items. And in the past, they have all dealt with stormwater control and the issues we have throughout the city, like Ewart Avenue and Robert C. Byrd and other areas that are prone to flooding. And this year, when I received it, I sent it on to Jeremiah Johnson at the Beckley Sanitary Board, and he and Tim Dalbert, they compiled this list, which I think was very well done. So, as you also stated, if we were not to pass this, it could penalize the city and residents in the future from being able to file FEMA-oriented claims. So anyhow, we have a motion to accept the hazard mitigation list as presented by Mr. Fowl.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the hazard mitigation list as described. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign.
Mayor, if I may just make sure the minutes show that it's not just the list, it's actual hazard mitigation plan, which is all comprehensive. It goes beyond the list. It's the plan itself.
Okay, very good. Susan,
Thank you.
pick up on that.
Yes, sir.
Very good. All righty. Next, this is something that I brought up recently. Beckley Area Foundation, as some of you may have seen, is in the process of constructing a parking lot across from their new location at 1210 South Kanawha Street. They have asked for any additional help. I think it was, Val may chime in on this, I think it was about a $250,000 total project, and they were short of funds and had reached out to us. I asked Jessica Chandler to do a recap of BAF funds that have been channeled to the various departments of the city over the past 5 years. And the total was $54,000, which amounts to, boils down to in excess of an average of $10,000 a year. So I threw out the possible contribution back to BAF for all the good they do for the city and the Southern West Virginia of $25,000. Mr. Trump nodded approval of this amount from a ability to do so. So, Bill, you're on that board. Do you have any further comments?
Well, actually, I kind of serve as their counsel. I'm not technically on their board now. I have served as their president in the past. I think what you stated was well stated. I think it should be noted that Beckley Area Foundation does not spend any of the money that is gifted to Beckley Area Foundation or any of the income generated from that money on itself. And so it actually raised and was gifted enough funds dedicated to the building that they have purchased and remodeled and dedicated to this parking lot. So it's not that they're taking away money that is a result of a gift that was given to Beckley Area Foundation, in which that income generated is used to fund grants to not only the city of Beckley, but to numerous not-for-profit organizations throughout this area. So any assistance is greatly appreciated, but it is important that people recognize that Beckley Area Foundation is not taking money that was given to Beckley Area Foundation to be used to generate income to support this area or all the non-for-profits that they've been able to support.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any other comments or questions? If not, if it's council's desire to entertain a motion to make that $25,000 contribution, I would entertain that motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make that motion.
Yeah, we have a motion. Do we have a second for that
I'd be
25?
glad to second it.
Thank you, Tom. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion to donate the $25,000 toward the construction of the BAF parking lot, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign. That motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor, I will say the board and those that work at BAF, including Dina Cushman in particular, greatly appreciate the support the city has given and is giving in this instance to BAF. So thank you on their behalf.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next, it's premature. We have had some inquiries about the date for Halloween, and it would be my recommendation that when the county comes forth with their approved date to recognize Halloween, that we fall in line with them. Last year or year before last, we had some confusion, but I think as closely as we are joined to the county, that we should observe that date on the date that they come up with. So any discussion there? Okay, that's just an information item. That's not an action item. Next, salary increases for city employees. Mr. Trump.
Yes, sir. I sent an email to all members of council with a proposal to raise the starting salaries of all positions in the cities by $1 an hour. That helps us be competitive. You can talk to the various people that do the hiring. And if we raise that starting salary by $1 an hour, we will consequently raise the salaries of all the city employees by a corresponding amount of $1 an hour. This probably will, round figures with benefits and such, is about a $500,000 expenditure. But fortunately, we found some unexpected offsets that help us recapture a lot of that revenue. So the impact on the city budget would be fair, less substantial than it is. But even without those offsets, the financial picture of the city is strong enough to do this. And with the rising inflation and other things, I think it's a doable thing.
Very good. Thank you, Billy. Thank you for your research on that. Even while you were down with COVID the past couple of weeks. So thank you. Any other comments or questions on this proposed increase for city employees?
Will this affect the police department or fire department in any way?
It will. They will be included in this, and I think Billy also has some rough figures regarding police and fire, but certainly those who also receive the longevity increase, which, if I'm not mistaken, for the average firefighter or police officer, this amounts to about a 6% salary increase. Is that correct, Billy?
Yes, sir. When you factor in the longevity, the increase probably averages a bit more than 6%, and it also depends on how long the employee's been with the city.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion to improve this salary increase as described by Billy.
Moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Looks like KP and Sherry. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed by a like sign. That motion carries. Thank you. Okay, under old business, I received a letter from Pastor John Jordan, who has been the primary leader for the Beckley Day of Hope in recent years. And they've decided to forego that activity this year, reevaluate the participation and sponsorships, et cetera, and reconsider next year. So that's under old business. And I'll go ahead and the Heart of God Ministries will also sponsor a block party on September the 4th, beginning at 1 p.m. So anything from any other member of council under old business?
Mayor, do we have any update about Stifler Drive?
You know, let's see, Billy may have some information. The last we heard, and there was a little breakdown in communication between us and Thrasher regarding a go-ahead green light agreement for Thrasher to conduct their studies and recommendations on the cost of getting Stifler up to code from a stormwater and paving circumstance. And I do not have an update yet from Thrasher, although that agreement has been signed for about 3 weeks now and is in place. And Billy, do you have any updates?
Essentially what you were stating, I know Stormwater's been up and looking at it, and they move very deliberately when they prepare a report. So we're still looking for some sort of definitive word from them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have something.
All righty.
I want to thank Leslie and Jeremiah Johnson and all the staff at Historic Black Knight Municipal Park. The Woodrow Wilson High School class of 72. We had our 50th class reunion on August the 13th. We had around 100 people, and it was just amazing. We had so many comments about how it was wonderful that we had that venue for Beckley. We missed Billy and Kathy. They were still sick. Billy, we missed you. It was a wonderful time. Former Councilman Frank Williams was there with his wife Deborah. We're also classmates. But Council and Mayor, I was so proud. I was so proud that our classmates that have been gone for over 50 years were able to come back, and they had a very memorable experience at Black Knight, thanks to Leslie and Jeremiah and all their staff.
Great. Yeah, we ran into a couple at church Sunday who had attended, Ron Kuntz and his wife, and they were
Dreamer.
expressed the same great satisfaction that you just did. So that's great.
Thank you.
Anything else from any member of council under old business?
I've got something, Mayor.
All right.
I want to thank Jerry Stump for his observation of the streets that he's milling and paving. Those have been on a lot of people's lists for a long time, and they're much needed, and I'm sure everybody will be glad to see that happen. Secondly, there's a street over on Eisenhower Drive called Van Meter Drive, and it's right beside the City National Bank and this doctor's office. And there's a humongous mud puddle there. And we had talked earlier, maybe last year, about bringing that street into the city. And it was given to like Gavin to research it. And I've spoken to Gavin at least 2 or 3 times about it. And he's, kind of, oh, I'm going to get to it you know, so Bill, could you maybe like put a little bit more pressure on Gavin for us, please?
Yeah, and Tom, I'm glad you brought that up today. Actually, Gavin and I met this morning, and that was one of the subjects of the meeting. Gavin has done a lot of work on it. We are still looking
Good.
at it, and that is something that I think shortly we will be able to get back with you with recommendations, see what it would take. But Gavin did meet this morning, and he has done some work on it now. So, thank you for bringing it up. Glad you did. Good time.
Yep. And that document that you wanted us to read, that's 300 and some pages or whatever, was that double spaced or single spaced?
Some of it is actually single space. Some of it's pretty fine print. Now, there are a few charts here, Tom, I think that you'll be okay with, but
Okay.
it's pretty comprehensive. That's why they call it comprehensive, I guess.
Okay. I'll have to go up and spend a couple hours and
Yeah,
peruse through it.
It'll be there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Anything else from any member of council under old business?
Yes, Mayor, I got one thing here. I'd mentioned some time back, a couple of years, about getting at least a picture or some information about Black Knight on our webpage. I don't see anything on the webpage. I think we need to utilize that a little bit more, even expanding as far as the rates and stuff for golf and things like that. So maybe if the IT and Miss Baker can get together sometime here before we retire, we might be able to get a little bit more information out to the people on that.
I'm in total agreement. I know there's some work in progress, either with Cucumber Company or perhaps through a competitive bid situation to update our website. So that will definitely be included, as I understand.
Mayor, if I might jump in there for a second, I can tell you that we are working with Cucumber and Company. We have a prototype of a website for the Black Knight Municipal Park that we're working on. We're trying to get some additional information, that the same things that Councilman Price is talking about, some details of pricing and availability of things and that sort of stuff. They've gone down and taken some photos for us. We have a framework for that right now. We're just trying to fill in around it with the details that we need to get from the people at Parks and Rec so we can get that up. And that will be, it'll be a site that can stand alone, but also will be some information we can link to directly from the City of Beckley's website. So working on that, have been working on it for a while. We're working with Leslie and Cucumber on that. So hopefully we'll see something that we can put up there pretty soon.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Anything else from any member of council under old business?
Very briefly, Tom, here's a copy. I will bring this by tonight if you're going to be home. So.
Thanks, Bill. I'll pick it up tomorrow.
Okay. Anything else from any member of council under old business? Anything from any member of council under new business?
I have something, Mayor. Mr. Walker had reached out to me from 102 11th Street. He says that he's having some water coming in. The way he described it to me, I haven't actually been over there, but the way he described it, he has water coming from the backside. I guess the heel comes down into his like back of his house, and the water's coming in, and it's giving him a lot of foundation problems. He said he bought this house, I think, back in February, and he says it seems like maybe like a natural spring or a dump off from somewhere. And he said when it gets rain, a good rain, that it shoots across his yard, and it's like almost like a river going across the road. And he just doesn't know the steps of what needs to be taken and who to really contact. Actually, the Attorney General's office is who he contacted at the state fair, and they sent him my way. And he just wants to try to find an answer of some way. Like you said, he wasn't really expecting this when he bought the house, but he said it's causing some damage in his foundation, and he would like to get it fixed before he fixes the foundation.
Okay. Captain Morgan, Mr. Walker at 102 11th Street, could you coordinate with Stormwater a visit to check on that problem, please?
Yeah, we'll check and see what we can do.
I have his contact information if you want to reach out to me, Captain Morgan, and I can try to set up a contact between you all two if you would like.
Okay, that'd be good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from any member of council under new business? Okay, Mr. Kelly, do we have anybody signed up for public comments?
I'm here as well, Mayor, and I don't have anyone signed up at the moment. If anybody would like to speak, they just need to raise their hand. We have a few call-in users. If they want to hit *3 on their phone, they could also raise their hand.
Yes, I should have made that announcement. And if connecting by the computer, click the hand icon on your participants panel. So we'll give that a moment or two to see if anybody takes us up on a public comment.
I don't see anyone, sir.
Thanks, Amy. Anything else for the good of the cause? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody, this evening. Have a great evening.
Thank
See
you.
Feel better soon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Get well.
Thank you, sir.